Over the past 10 years, I've put on about 70 pounds of muscle. And along that way, I got an education in sports science, worked as an in-person trainer for half a decade, and I've helped dozens of men lose fat and build muscle. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've lived it myself and I've helped other people do it as well. I've also made every mistake in the book personally, and I've learned from all of them. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Building muscle is like starting a fire. You only need 3 things: a spark, fuel, and oxygen. If you get those 3 things right, you're gonna grow, no questions asked. So let me show you exactly what each one is. The spark is your training. It's the signal you're sending to your body to tell it to grow in the first place. And the first thing you need to hear is that your workout split is more or less irrelevant. That is something you will never hear another fitness coach say, but it's for the most part true. I've been training people for years and I track data obsessively. And after working with hundreds of clients, the #1 determining factor of how much progress you're gonna make is not what split you choose, it's how hard you push yourself. So don't spend a lot of time thinking and worrying about that. It's not a huge factor. Pick a workout split or routine that you like and that you'll stick to and that fits your schedule. Because if you don't stick to it, nothing else matters. In an ideal world, you'll hit every muscle group twice per week. But honestly, even that isn't a big deal. If you want my recommendation, if you got 3 spare days a week to work out, I would do full body 3 times per week. If you got 4 spare days, I would do upper lower and I would repeat it twice per week. If you got 6 days per week or 5, I would do push-pull legs and repeat it. But like I said, your split is more or less not that important. If you even want to run the ever so hated on bro split, it works. I've had people on it and they've progressed just fine. Again, not a huge variable. The more important factor is how you structure your progression. You cannot be lifting the same weights week in and week out and expect to grow or make progress. So this is what you need to do. Every single session, you need to be adding at least 1 more rep or 5 more pounds or 2 pounds or 1 pound or whatever, just add weight on every single exercise for at least 1 set. So if I do 3 sets of bench press for 3 sets of 10 on every set, it means next time I come in, I need at least 1 of those sets to be 11. Because the misleading part is that the spark isn't just you working out. The spark is you doing more than last time. You need to be chasing improvements like your progress depends on it, because it does. And when it comes to how much of each exercise you should be doing, a good spot to sit is anywhere between 10 and 20 sets per muscle group per week. If it's a bigger muscle group, aim for the lower end of that range. If it's a smaller muscle group like your delts or biceps or triceps, you can aim towards the higher end of that range since they don't need as much recovery. Now, with training out of the way, you know how to train. Let's move on to the next part, which is the fuel that you're gonna burn. And that is your nutrition. No wood, no fire. Everyone knows that. And before I say anything, the first and most important thing you need to figure out is how many calories you're burning per day, your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. If you eat a little bit above that, you're gonna gain weight, no questions asked. If you eat a little bit below it, you're gonna lose weight. So obviously, if you're wanting to build muscle, you need to know how many calories you burn and eat a little bit more than that so your body can start building with that extra energy. Can you gain muscle while losing weight? Yes. Is it as fast? Fuck no. Can you build muscle while eating as much energy as you are expending, aka main gaining? Also yes. Is it as good? Fuck no. Now look, I'm not gonna make you do a bunch of math on camera to figure out how many calories you're burning and how to decide how much to eat. I made a full calculator that does all of it. You just go in the description, top link, click it, find your numbers. It'll tell you all your macros and stuff, but still stick around, watch the macro section because there's a lot of useful information beyond just how much to eat, and then come back here. Speaking of macros, we all know that there are 3 main things that make up all of the calories you will consume: proteins, carbs, and fats. Starting with protein. I used to try and eat as much protein as humanly possible, sometimes up to 300 grams per day. And all it did was give me room clearing farts and put a giant hole in my wallet. Here's the truth. Once you're getting 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, there's no benefit to eating extra at all. And the same thing goes with healthy fats. For your fat intake, you want to aim for 0.3 to 0.4 grams per pound of body weight. Again, eat more than that, no benefit. So protein and fats should be more or less set in stone. carbs are the variable, and luckily, they do scale. You want all of your extra calories coming from carbs. And the more carbs you eat, generally, the better your performance. This is why powerlifters, strongmen, bodybuilders are pounding carbs in the off season, because that's what makes you strong. You want to get to the point eventually where you're eating anywhere from 400 to 600 grams of carbs on average per day, depending on your body weight and a bunch of other factors. Now, some of you might be thinking right now, isn't eating a bunch of carbs bad for you? Won't I become insulin resistant? And yeah, that's a fair worry, but look, we're not eating an absurd amount of carbs. We're eating the amount your body needs to perform. And you're not eating infinite. Your calories are already limited by what your calorie surplus was that we already determined. So you're not gonna be eating as many carbs as possible. You're just gonna be eating whatever's left over after your protein and fat intake is met. So you're not gonna get any gut or health issues, don't worry. But we do need to spike your insulin because insulin is anabolic. Bodybuilders have known this for years. It's a reason they literally inject it to grow muscle. When something's anabolic, it just means it helps you grow. So for someone like you who's not gonna inject insulin, you wanna stay as sensitive to your own insulin as possible. And you also wanna still get a lot of it, which are two kind of contradicting scenarios biologically. Because if you have a lot of insulin all the time, you become resistant. And if you have low insulin all the time, you become sensitive. But either way, you usually can't get the best of both worlds. Here's the fix. What you're gonna do is eat very high carbs on days that you work out and normal amounts on other days. So let me give you an example. If you are eating on average 400 grams of carbs per day and working out 3 days a week, and for math's sake, let's just say a week is 6 days, so 3 days is exactly half of a week, just bear with me. That means you're working out every other day, okay? So instead of eating 400 grams of carbs every day, what I would do is eat 100 grams less on days you don't work out and eat 100 grams more on days you do. You get all the upside of the high carb diet and a decent amount less of the downsides. And if figuring your exact numbers kind of sound like a headache, again, calculator in the description, it'll do it for you. So what you want to do is time those carbs around your workout because that's when you're going to need them anyway. So if you are working out, I would eat around 50 grams of carbs about an hour before, and I'd eat 100 to 150 grams of carbs after your workout. And on the days you don't train, you just don't have those meals. So that's 200 grams you don't have on days you don't work out. Easy peasy. So now at this point in the video, you know how to train, you know how to eat. And just to be clear, I can go a lot deeper on these topics. I'm just trying to keep it pretty surface level. I want to keep this actionable and simple. Realistically, this is already 85% of the equation, and I'll cover the rest on a different video down the line. So look, you got the spark, you got the fuel, but if you don't have any oxygen laying around, no fire is gonna start anytime soon. And that oxygen for you is your sleep. Sleep is when your muscles literally do the growing. So you need to optimize it. No sleep, no muscles. You need at least 7 to 8 hours per day. Can you grow muscles on less sleep? Yes. But just know you are handicapping yourself. It is gonna be significantly reduced. I can't tell you how many of my clients were completely stuck for weeks on end. We sort out their sleep schedule and they start to make progress right thereafter. And if falling and staying asleep is a struggle for you, magnesium, sleep mask, blackout curtains, sleep in a cold room, sleep naked, these are all things that'll help to get you to fall and stay asleep and get a better sleep at the same time. Also stay off your fucking phone, obviously. And that's it. You officially know everything you need to know. Train properly, eat properly, sleep properly, and you're gonna be growing muscle like crazy. But none of this matters if you're not gonna take action on all this information I've just laid out in front of you. Do it now. I know you guys, you're sitting here watching YouTube videos, scrolling Instagram Reels, grabbing all these tips and doing none of them. Actually take my advice, because otherwise you've wasted this 10-minute video and you're not gonna get anything out of it unless you actually fucking take the advice and use it. So literally start tomorrow. Do something tomorrow. Take at least one thing from this video and just fucking do it. Get in the habit of taking action. And if you want me to sort all of this out just for you, it's the bottom link in the description. You can apply to work with me. I'll reach out as soon as possible. My spots do fill up at the beginning of the month very quickly, so please reach out quickly. Catch you in the next one.